So anyway, just figured I'd roll on another blog, just kind of on the low here, sitting here at Starbucks. Just got the phone with a friend of mine, and the thing is, it's so alluring gambling in terms of being an entrepreneur, because the biggest thing is like, man, they pay real money, and and like most of the other situations, other small investments for say like $1,000 or maybe $2,000 or something like that. I mean, you get completely ripped off by other people, and so I play or have played for a long period of time poker, competitively, or strategically, or for money, and for a long period of time in my life, since basically being 21, and I've quitting and things like that, and I've been thinking about and working on a project where I'm just trying to get rid of this from my life. I mean, in the big allure of it, obviously, is pays cash. So I wouldn't consider myself like a compulsive gambler, but because I get money and stuff like that. I mean, it's not burning a hole in my pocket. I need to go put it in a machine. But the games and poker have gotten bad for the most part. Maybe not great overall. Maybe is a more accurate statement. Sorry, I'm trying to hold the mic to my mouth so you can hear me well. And you think, golly, you have to be smart when you take this approach. I mean, if you're not winning, I mean, people very much do not understand poker. You lose for a year, have a bad year. I mean, for one thing, that's a completely wrong approach. I mean, believe me, in gambling, a losing year is nothing. As a matter of fact, depending on what, look at this, But the fact of the matter is when you gamble your money, say like video poker machine. I mean, and I'm a guy that like, why not? Let's go gamble a couple $100. I mean, how can that be bad? And you gamble a couple $100. Next thing you know, 23 years has passed. And you think to yourself, what have I lost? When you sports bet, you think these casinos are losing? Let me tell you about somebody who's beat the casinos out of money. I mean, look at Phil Ivey. I mean, this motherfucker's won the casino's money. He's had to go to Supreme Court both in Europe and in, United States. I mean, look at this, This is the friend I was talking to, literally, and, maybe he's more on the different end of the gambling, problem gambler, compulsive gambler. I mean, I'm not confused. Every time I gamble, it's losing. It's absolutely losing. But, I mean, Friday night, how can going down, walking the casino floor, gambling a couple $100, how can that be bad? You fucking work all week, you hump some stupid fucking job, you're rolling down a casino, maybe win 1,000, get yourself some hookers and some weed, and you have a fucking good time. I mean, that's, how bad is that? You know what I mean? So, but the thing, I think about the most is, I've done projects like this, and the personal dedication that it takes is quite high. I recently lost about 80 pounds. I don't know about recently, maybe 5-6 years ago. Sorry, I'm looking up. There's people all around me. I'm just basically talking to my computer. And basically, I lost 88 pounds. I put this in the category as a life experience, a life change that most people are not going to be able to do easily. Man, I see people at the gym. I have a lot of friends that have, come back and ask me, yo, Scott, what the hell? What'd you do? I said, let me tell you, I bought some fucking running shoes, and I was up at 4 in the morning. At one point, I don't know if I can, I wish I could bring this up, but at one point, I literally could run 10 miles, not even trying. It was pretty crazy. And here I am, 44 years old. I take it a little easier now because I gotta tell you, I'm probably pretty lucky I didn't get injured. I certainly was sore as fucking hell a few times, but I mean, this is the same situation. I mean, you have to want this so fucking badly. And, it has to sear in your, in your gut, so to speak, that you're like, okay, I'm going to take this other route. I'm going to try to, rid this, my life as not being an option. The main reason more than anything is just like, man, I just feel like I could do so much more and so much better with, my time and my money. I mean, I definitely dedicated a certain amount of my life straight up gambling, just straight up playing poker, hours and hours and hours, just days, weeks. And part of most of my career was been live poker. So I'm traveling casinos. I've lived in Vegas off and on throughout my adult life. But, traveling in and out of Vegas, I didn't live there my whole life. I've done several other things. But, me and my wife, or ex-wife now, sat down one time and basically figured it out. I mean, I basically went, I would say, no more, and that brings me to my next point. I don't think I've gone more than 90 days without gambling, putting my money in action. I gotta tell you, for anybody out there that's doing this, 22 years, no more than 90 days. Let me tell you the amount of money it takes to do that. It's significant. I couldn't, honestly sit here and go, yo, I'm a winner. Had a lot of good days. Anybody who's gambled can probably relate to that. I mean, there's plenty of winners out there if you're putting up dough. So that's what I have to say about the subject. Gambling, poker playing. For me, mostly it's poker playing, and then, when the games got less than fun. I mean, $1 and $2 no limit, let's face it, is kind of a weak fucking game, in general. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, I was playing, and I'm not a big player, but, back in the more limit periods, I was playing 15, 30, 10, 20, very regular games for me. And, we're talking $45, $45 to a 3-bet. And so you transfer that over to 1-2 no limit. And some douchebag, comes out and I raise $18. And you're like, you got ace king, or, okay, let's not give it that much credit. Say you got ace jack, ace queen. Say you even got, suited connector, you want to gamble, you can play post flop well against this particular person. So why not? You're calling. I mean, $100 before the flop or anything less than that is not that significant when you play games. I mean, 15, 30. I mean, it's a bigger game. $700-800 pots really regularly. And basically, it was a game that, here comes along the Chris Moneymaker effect, and, now everything's no limit. That's fine. I mean, it's nice when you get a hand and you're able to, call up my chips, you know what I mean? And so, that transition, I mean, I'm fine enough playing No Limit, but that transition was not as appealing to me as, the game I was, I felt, I was much more interested in. I like playing mixed games, Omaha. My career, if you want to call it that or whatnot, began in the past the deck era of the Gardena in Los Angeles, and stud games, variations of stud, high-low, and basically that has become a situation where I just ready to move on from the game, but you win. Say you buy in for 1,000. These days you can win like 10, 11,000 for $1,000 buy-in at the Commerce, or the Bike Club. There's a lot of stupid people still playing poker. But actually, if you look at it carefully, and you examine the information that's out there, and you play and you're honest with yourself about the situation, and if you're a loser, you're crazy for playing. It really is. And actually, now the casinos have ratcheted up the rate of the games, which is becoming significant. It really is. Even online games are not as wonderful. I do hope the background noise isn't killing me. You have to go, hey, I gotta quit. You don't want to engage in losing behavior. That is winning behavior. Even if you're a reasonably good winner in the game, I mean, I feel like most of my poker hours were winners over a long sample. I mean, we're talking 20 some odd years. I mean, even the last time I played with my buddy Tommy at the World Series, played a little at Portland, Omaha, and I didn't wipe out the game, but it was a very small game, and I won 1,000 real quick. And there, wasn't a very, there was, I think wasn't even full. It was in the afternoon, wasn't exactly peak periods, but it wasn't full. 1,000, and I just look around. I'm like, I'm up. Why not? Why continue? It's silly. So that's really the last time I played poker, and only because, my buddy was in town. He wanted to go to the World Series. So I'm like, I happened to be in Vegas at the time. And so basically I went, gambled, but as of right now, the point is behind this here is I am on a long stretch of, no gambling for 82 days. And things have started to change. Not as quickly and as swiftly as I hope they would, but it's certainly, things are starting to change, behaviors, way I think about things. And I encourage you, if you're out there dealing with this, it's important. Just like losing weight and that thing, it's important. It's important to be honest with yourself. It's important to evaluate carefully your decision making, because that is the key. That is the key. I appreciate you taking time to listen to my video. Please subscribe. Helps me out a lot. Thank you much.